there's so many inconsistencies and hypocrisies that we have in society and that we have culturally. And it's pretty funny to me. It's funny, it's confusing, it's frustrating, entertaining. It's like we have this veneer of righteousness. We have this veneer of, morality, being compassionate, altruistic. But it's just a veneer. I think that we collectively, we care more about style over substance. Like, you can know, like even if something has substance, most people will dismiss it due to how it's presented or how other people feel about it, or people care more about trying to look cool, than substance, than actually analyzing substance, taking it for what it actually is, accepting facts. We have a society full of people who would rather look right than actually be right. We have a whole bunch of blind consumers. We have a whole bunch of people that just blindly buy into anything that's shoved down their throat. It's like most people are defined by their demographics. Like, all I see is a bunch of NPCs. NPCs. You're just a generic, non-autonomous drone. A bunch of people that's just trying to keep up with the Joneses. Like, you people worship whatever big business shoves down your throat, but you don't even realize it, because you see, this is how you control a population. Like, you socially engineer them by putting things in the culture. What is the culture? Like, you ask people, what is the culture? The culture is the music they listen to, the entertainment that they watch, dumb, frivolous, pointless shit like that. That's what people consider culture. That's what's culture to them. So in that way, it's even easier to control what the fuck they do. Whatever commercials that you air, and who control these things? It's not even that much to think about. Who controls these things? The big business. Who controls what song is on the radio? Who controls if the sports, are being broadcasted on all of these channels? Who controls the commercials, the ads that you just watch every second of every show? Who controls all this product placement? Who controls, paying these celebrities? Or no, not even, they don't have to pay them, just, or, these endorsements that they give these celebrities to market all of these goods, and that people think that that's cool. People, cool is not what the actual people think that's cool. No, people don't know what the hell they want. Humans don't know what the hell they want. Humans, they're gonna take whatever you put in front of them, whatever you shove in their face, that's what they're gonna accept, for the most part. And so once you have control of the culture, now you can make people brag about being scammed. It's like, You know, you see people running around bragging and shunning people for not buying in a blind consumerism. They brag on being a blind consumer. Oh, bitch, I got this new purse, bitch. Yeah, girl. It's like, oh man, I got this big ass truck, man. I got a brand new truck. Yeah, man. Got this brand new truck and a big ass house, man. Got this big ass cube, this big ass box I put stuff in, man. I got a big ass chain and a big ass watch, man. It's full of diamonds, man. I paid so much money for my diamonds, man, even though it's just a worthless rock that some company put an arbitrary value on. Yeah, man, to convince me that they're scarce, but they're really not, just so they can keep selling them for an outrageous price. But I'm stupid, I don't know any of that. Yeah, man, because I'm flexing on you, man. I'm flexing, I'm flossing, I'm finessing, man. I'm flexing on you, man. I'm shitting on you niggas, man. Cause you know what I'm saying, man. Y'all niggas ain't on my level, man. Like, you got people proud to put, basically, I'm an idiot. Like, just writing idiot on their forehead. Like, you got people bragging about basically writing, I have been scammed on my forehead. I'm gullible. You know, just to write that across your forehead. You basically have people bragging to do that. Like, think about it. How does that make you, like, how could wearing another man's brand in a sense of, like, some designer that doesn't even care about you, that, like, you don't intrinsically think that that's cool. That's the thing that I don't understand. You don't intrinsically think that's cool. You see, like, other people who don't even think it's cool themselves look at some celebrity. You know, you see these people look at some celebrity or whatever the case may be, or some figure that has a lot of people not even necessarily supporting them, but a person that has a lot of people's attention, you know? And you see them wear it or talk about it or whatever, and now you just assume that it's cool, so now you're wearing it as like a badge of honor. It's like, you look like an idiot. Like, you don't even know what you're doing. Like, what are you doing? Like, do you think? Like, you're being controlled. Like, if that's culture to you, if culture is that, you know, if culture has that much power over you to the point where you would accept the culture over thinking for yourself, then, like, you are a slave. You are a slave. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand how people don't understand. It's simple. Like, think about this. Think about all the things that you have to do continuously. Like, think about all the things that you have to do continuously until you die. Now think about the products and services needed to do those things. Now think about who owns those products and services and who sells them to you. Now think about basically the monopoly that these people have on these products and services. They're guaranteeing that they have customers forever. Think about that. You know, I'm talking about your food, your hygienes, your bills, your energy, transportation, things of this nature, things of that nature. You know, just think about it. They're saying, I have you suckers until you die, but when you die, that won't even matter, because there's billions of more suckers that's just being popped out every day. And once I use all the propaganda, marketing, advertisement, rhetoric, jargon, buzzwords, and indoctrination from a youth. Once I use all of those tactics on these people from youth to control the things that they watch and the things that they listen to and the things that they respect and admire and worship, from youth, then I'll have them for life. That is like, that's genius. I mean, you have them from youth, you got them for life. Because they'll grow up with those same ideals, and most people, fortunate for them, most people don't reconsider or don't reevaluate, their methods of thought. They just assume, like, think about how many people that you'll ask, why do you do this? Or why do you do this? Why do you act in this way? It's how I was raised, man. It's how I was raised. Why were you raised like that? Because that's how your parents were raised. How were they raised like that? Look what they watched on TV. Look at the people they admired. How were those people put there for them to admire? The powers that be. The people that fucking control the shit. Companies, big business. Because, if you didn't already know, I don't see how you can, but the reason for everything is money. Everything in this society is behind money. And when I say everything, I don't just mean the buying and selling of goods, commerce. No, I'm not just talking about, someone creating something and someone using, their own volition to go and buy it. No, I'm talking about everything that you can possibly think of. Shit that you think is put there because the government has your best interests. They don't. Things that you think are systems and policies that you think are put there specifically because humanity has some sort of compassion or altruism. No. It's there because of the incentive of money. It's there because of the incentive of money. All of these buildings, these companies that sell you food and medicine and healthcare, they don't give a damn about you. They don't give a damn if you die. They don't sell you food because they don't want you to starve to death. They sell you food because they know your ass has to eat or you'll die. So they've monopolized that market. And now they have an infinite supply of customers, of money. They have an infinite supply of revenue. You're just a dollar sign to them. You're a lick. That's humorous to me. That people really walk around thinking that the people that are at the top of this system, capitalism, really have your best interests. Be cognizant of what they try to make seem cool, be cognizant of your demographics and how that subconsciously influences you. Be aware of it, be skeptical. Be skeptical. Because that's what happens for most people. They let their demographics define them. They let the culture define them. But they don't realize that how easy the culture is changed, how easy it's controlled, how easy they don't understand these things. It's like you're playing trust fall with people that don't have your best interest in mind. Like, you just sitting back relying on the notion, the thought, the concept that it's all gonna be all right because Big Daddy government, Uncle Sam, big business, big pharma, you know, all these entities have my best interest. They're thinking about my best interest. And so because of that, society is gonna be okay. That's not it, man. Like if the culture is destructive, then fuck the culture. Like, I'm not like married to the concept of culture. I don't subscribe to that concept. I'm not. That's kind of stupid to me, actually. You know, well, it's the culture, man. It's the culture. The culture could be anything. The culture could be any stupid, immoral. They can literally make it whatever the fuck they want to make it. But you know what? No matter how absurd, asinine, no matter how bizarre it is, you still have a great number of people passionately following it. You have a great amount of people that support it. Not like they're kinda on board. No, they're on board. Like, they're on the bandwagon. That's always been an interesting concept to me. That's an interesting observation. Like, think about that. You can take anything, any person in the entire world, and you just take the exact same thing that they're doing in their normal day-to-day life, and you put that on like a pedestal. You put that on a platform to where millions and billions can see it. And no matter what it is, they'll have people passionately worshiping it without like thought. They won't even think about it. They won't even take it, dissect it, analyze it for what it is. No. Well, I'm on board. It's in my face. I'm for it. I don't give a damn what it is. That's how these people think. That's scary to me, man. But when you look at it, you look at history, and you see how history repeats itself because of human ignorance. You see these things like the Holocaust, you know, the Inquisition, the Dark Ages, you know, the genocides. See things of this nature. You see why it happens. You see the things going on today, and you see the things that, and you'll see the things that'll go on in the future, and you see how they're not very different. The same thing, perhaps with different technology, but the same concept nonetheless. And that just goes to show that, by and large, we give humans, credit that they don't deserve. We assume that humans are just this perfect species at the pinnacle of evolution. We're the goal of evolution. No, we're not. Evolution doesn't have a goal. It's not divinely ordained by some magic invisible man in the sky. You know, it's none of that bullshit. But people still think like that. People are, I don't know if they're afraid, it makes them uncomfortable, but they don't want to admit that all of this is random, all of this is chance. Evolution, the way things are, you know, evolution it's not going towards some goal. Whatever was good enough to keep you to survive and procreate and perpetuate the species. Not necessarily the things that stayed, the things that remained are not necessarily beneficial, but they weren't detrimental to the point of extinction. So a lot of these things, they've remained, and they are vestigial in society today. But it's come to a point where we have a lot more knowledge than we did even, half a century ago, man. See, that's what I think about. The thing I like about technology is it grows exponentially. As it grows and we, see these we have these breakthroughs, these technological breakthroughs. The advancements of technology and of the information that we have, it grows at an exponential rate. So over time, it takes to have quadruple the breakthrough that we had 20 years ago. It's going to take a fraction of that time for us to gain even more information, Anyway, it's like the culture is destructive, but people don't kick the culture. They don't realize that, hey, I don't actually have to follow this dumb bullshit just because people before me did it, or the majority of people around me do it, or whatever the case may be. But it doesn't seem like people understand that. It seems like, I don't know, man, people just don't think, I guess. I don't know. I think appealing to culture, appealing to pop culture, appealing to popular culture, I think that's pretty stupid because, things like culture, that changes, Just look at, the climate that we lived in, that people lived in just 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. It's different, 50 years ago, century ago, it changes. It changes very quickly, actually. It's like one time period, you can do this, you can't do that. Then like the next generation is like totally flipped on its head, and the previous generation is looked at as idiots, primitive, antiquated, and the younger generation is looked at as inexperienced, naive, lazy. But then, the cycle just continues, and, whatever generation is the majority in the workforce, or whatever the case may be, or something like that, whoever's, supplying or stimulating the economy in that particular point in time, that's the generation that pop culture is going to appeal to, because it makes money. So that's the thing. People just, I don't know if they ignore the fact or just are plain ignorant to the fact that this whole entire system is based off of taking someone else's money, and from taking somebody's money out of their pockets and putting it into your pockets. And that's it. Transferring someone else's money into your hands. That's what this is. It's not a meritocracy. The system is rigged. It's by definition, like the way it's designed. Oh yeah, it's rigged. And so it's not a meritocracy. That whole hard work thing, that's just a veneer to make it look like, the system's fair. If you work hard and you're gonna be successful. That's bullshit. So you're stuck with this dilemma, due to your socioeconomic status, since every aspect of this society is ran by capitalism, it affects everybody, it affects all types of people with totally different ideologies, but they still in some way, whether directly or indirectly, come into contact with capitalism. So so you're stuck with this dilemma. You're like, I'm stuck in, you're stuck in between a rock and a hard place. You're at this, you have this dilemma, right? It's like, do I sell out? It's like, do I stick to my guns? Do I stick with my guns and personal core values with the thought, with the notion that if I do this, I won't make enough money to support myself and my family? You have people that are aware of these things, aware of, the nature of how society is structured. They're met with this dilemma, It's like, and since it's a problem with the system, the way the system is designed, there's no, one solution, situational, I guess. So you just have this dilemma, and some people, but the way I like to think about it is, think about how your future self will look at your actions. I think of it like, try your best to please your future self on your deathbed. Like, when you're on your deathbed, will you look at your life like, I can't be mad with that. I can't be unsatisfied with that. I can't be dissatisfied with that. I'm happy with decisions that I made. I don't regret that, or I did it my way. I stuck to what I believed in. I stuck to my personal values, or whatever the case may be. Because one day you're gonna die. That's a good motivator to me. The fact that you're gonna die one day. So you get one run through this universe, and you're lucky to be a sentient human being. It's like, you could have been a rock. You could have been an earthworm. You could have been a platypus. You could have been you could have been anything. You could have been a plant. But no, man. You're a human being. You're a human being, a Homo sapiens sapien, anatomically modern human in the information age with, all this technology. Most people, 60 years in, they're done. So you get like a, give or take, 80-year stretch, 80-year run through. So, make the best of it, I guess. I feel like the system that we live in, it causes us to contemplate things, contemplate doing things that we wouldn't do otherwise. It causes us to, contemplate on possibly doing something unethical, and, morally, possibly like, not even morally bad, but, sort of in that gray area, questioning, something illegal, but would it be morally justified for me doing this illegal thing or not doing this illegal thing, Like, for example, let's say like you have a family, and let's say the economy's just messed up, right? And you're trying to get a job, you're filling out applications, and let's say for whatever the reason may be, you don't have any savings, or you can't get into like a school or something. You have a family, right? Then like let's say you contemplate, I don't know, selling drugs or something. Would it be like, are you morally justified in selling the drugs, or would it be immoral to not sell the drugs and let your family starve? You know what I mean? It's like, that's why, me personally, I think morals are just made up. Morals, it's just some stuff that we made up, man. It's just some shit we made up. It's just, I don't believe in any type of rigid rules. I think all of those things are situational. I think it's ridiculous to judge someone, morally. Let's say like you have two people in two different socioeconomic situations. I think it's ridiculous to, judge these people on the same criteria, because it's obviously, it's a whole different situation. That's why, like, when I see people doing things for money, or like judging people based on what they do for money, is kind of pointless, because at the end of the day, this system does reward psychopathy. Like, these politicians are psychopaths. Like, these politicians don't care about, they don't have the best interest of the citizens. They have the interest of these companies that they're selling out for, and these lobbyists, advertising all of these corporations so they can get a big payday, pass all these bogus, stupid laws and run out the back door with the money, buy their yachts and their beach houses and all of this stuff, while everybody else gets fucked over. Like, think about it. When the government shuts down, these people still get a paycheck. But like, let's say like a government worker, they don't get paid. See, the thing I think that most people don't understand is that if this whole political, government, and economic system completely collapses, they're gonna be okay. It's gonna be like nothing ever happened to them. That's what I think people fail to misunderstand. People fail to understand. They misunderstand that. Like, These people don't care about you. The government
You
doesn't
have
care
to be
about
observative. You have to be cognizant, my brothers and sisters. You have to be cognizant. You have to be cognizant. You have to be aware, my pupils, my students. You have to be aware.
if there's one thing that you take away from this video, I would say be cognizant, be aware, be cognizant, and put that in your pipe and smoke. I think we should be more aware, cognizant, and critically think about what we're exposed to, because culture is pervasive, and who controls the culture? You see, really the thing about it is the people that perpetuate and push this culture down our throats. See, they make us think that they control the culture, but really we're the culture, We are the people that make things popular, cool, like we as the people, we determine if something sells out or fails or is unpopular or whatever the case may be. Just think that thinking critically and questioning everything, those are good things to practice. These advertisers at these companies and corporations, they try to make it to where they're in control of what you buy, by making you feel like you're inherently flawed and what they're selling is the solution to your problem, or they're telling you that you're sick and they're making up a cure to sell to you. They're making you feel like you're not cool for not having their product, like you're behind on the bandwagon, like you're not hip, you just like you're not in the crowd, and that's how they use this type of propaganda and rhetoric, to give off the illusion that they're in control when that's not the case. It's funny because once the tactics that are used to control people's minds and influence the way people think, it becomes easy to decipher what it is. Since it's capitalism, since it's capitalism, even things like art, music, anything that's considered art. Some people think, oh, well, these things are free from capitalism. No. Play, art, fun, these things are commoditized. These artists are incentivized to make money from these things, which in turn just makes fun work or makes art work. So it just kind of collapses the whole concept of separation of fun or work, fun and work, and play and work and art from business and that sort of thing. But anyway, critical thinking is a great tool to use, and yeah, that's basically what I gotta say. Critical thinking is basically a bullshit detector. That's all basically what it is. Critical thinking has been, you know, they use the term overthinking as like a pejorative to critical thinking, or you're thinking too deep into it. No. Think deeply, question everything, critically think, because these things that most people think are, beneficial, they may be and probably are detrimental. Because like I said, at the end of the day, it's not about like progression or, it's not like these, government or these corporations have your best interest in mind. It's just about manipulating you to buy their shit. Doesn't matter if the products are beneficial or what they do for you, as long as you're convinced to give them your money. That's it. So just be mindful, be cognizant, think critically, and put that in your pipe and smoke it.